We back with another segment for y'all.
What's up, what's up?
What's up? So we're gonna get right into it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna talk about reclassifying. Reclassifying kids. Since last week we talked about, student athletes, we're gonna talk about reclassifying student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't know, when you reclassify your student or your child, you hold your kid back to get a competitive advantage in sports. So for example, if your kid plays basketball, you may hold them back a year in 8th grade to repeat 8th grade so you can get stronger, faster, and develop more. Or you may do it his senior year in high school.
Okay.
So do you think it's okay to hold back a kid or reclassify a kid to get a competitive advantage?
So also, I'm gonna come from a different perspective also from a teacher. Parents do that also.
Yes.
They reclassify their kids academically.
Okay.
So, maybe your child is not mature enough to go on to from kindergarten to first grade.
Yeah.
They might have them repeat kindergarten again so
Yeah.
they could be on that level.
Yeah.
So it happens in the academic realm and also in sports, but I think it's totally fine though.
Okay.
Because if you see some type of potential talent and,
Yeah.
with holding them back, they mature more, they might hit a growth spurt,
Yeah.
and they might develop their talent even more, even go
Yeah.
to another school and
Okay.
a better team.
Okay.
So, and also, college tuition is expensive, man.
I was gonna say that.
Listen, like,
I was gonna say
college
that.
tuition is expensive. So anytime I can put my child into becoming a better student and
Yeah.
also an athlete, I would, if I have the resources, I would definitely see that if he shows potential
Yeah.
to get a free education.
Yeah. So some people I think it's a big issue, and then sometimes when you have a conversation with someone, like I was telling my mother about it today, she was so shocked. And she was a teacher for over 30 years, and she was shocked when I'm talking about people hold back their kids
Just for athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one, I'm usually against it, to be honest with you. But then you gotta think of the advantages for kids. If your kid is mature enough to understand why he or she is being held back,
Yeah.
I think it's okay to do it.
Okay.
If they're not mature enough to understand or they don't get it and it may affect them long term, they're not moving on with their friends and they don't really not on the same page with you, I disagree with it.
And
But,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, yeah, and I agree with you on that because sometimes, parents wants to live their dreams for their
Correct.
child.
Exactly.
So, man, I wasn't the man in high school or whatever, or
Yeah.
middle school, or I didn't take the game seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm pounding the game into my sons or daughters' life so I
Correct.
could live
Correct.
my dreams through them. And they're like in 7th, 8th grade, like, oh,
Yeah.
you want to hold me back? Nah,
Correct.
Dad, I want to go with my friends. So
Correct.
make sure that your child understands the vision.
And make sure you respect your child's opinion in it, because
Exactly.
you want to try to do what's best for them, and they may not know what's best for them at all, but they do
Exactly.
have a right to have some type of input in it.
Yeah, at least. Yep.
So what reclassifying? I feel like if your kid has the potential and someone's telling you your kid has potential, not a cousin,
Yeah.
not your mom,
Somebody-
not an outside source is saying, yo,
Exactly.
your kid can be the next X, Y, and Z, or your
Yeah.
kid can go to school for free if he
Exactly.
puts the work in or she puts the work in. I think it's something you just really strongly consider.
Yeah.
If your kid doesn't have the skills, but you have a trainer, you have someone that's going to work with them to bring the best out of them because they have the size,
Exactly.
I think it's a good idea to reclassify, because like you said, at the end of the day, everybody wants the kids to go to play professional sports in the
Exactly.
NFL, NBA, whatever. But a lot of people want their kids to go to college. Most people should want their kids to go to college to get an education.
Exactly.
College is very expensive.
Man,
So
my bad. I didn't
No,
mean to cut
go
you off,
ahead,
but I didn't play ball in college,
Yeah.
but I went to a school upstate New York. Now
Yeah.
you're at college.
Yeah.
My parents paid $32,000 a year.
Yeah, it's private.
Private school.
Yeah,
Private school.
schools, they no joke.
Ain't no joke. So I definitely think if you want your child to go on to post education,
Yeah.
you should have a plan.
Yeah.
But everybody has to be locked in on
And
it.
it has to be realistic. Like your kid can't be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Oh, he could shoot a little bit. So you wasting your time. You
gotta
wasting
see
your kid's
potential,
time. You gotta
man.
see, but someone that has the eye has
Exactly.
to see potential. You can see all the potential in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just not there.
Exactly. So also talk to different scouts or different
Yeah.
coaches, get their input on it, because it takes a village to raise a child.
Correct.
So if somebody else sees some potential, everybody sees potential in their child.
Yeah, my kid the next.
Yeah, he's
yo,
the
my
next
kid,
thing
oh my
in.
God, he
But
came out right handed, he left handed now.
Exactly, yeah. You gotta have that third eye and another opinion. Like, yo, listen, what do you think will put my son or daughter in the best predicament? Also, not everybody's going to the league either.
Okay.
Off the rip, like,
It's
what's
true.
the best chance for my child to get a free education?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
If
Have no financial aid
If
issues
you
or
could get
bills
your kid
or
a
college
free
loans.
if you get your kid a free education,
Exactly.
that's what you should be shooting for. And if you have a shot at that,
Yeah.
a realistic shot at that,
Yeah.
I think you should really put the work in and attempt that.
Exactly.
Well, I have some questions for you.
Yo, go ahead.
Okay, so if you had let's say a son.
Okay.
You had a son, He's 5'7". He's super tough. Super tough with the handle. His mom is 6 feet.
Okay.
He's in 8th grade.
Okay.
The right coach comes along to you and says, "Hey, listen, I have this school, this school, straight basketball. I feel like your son's on target to go X, Y, and Z, but you need to reclassify him. And we're gonna send him there for free. You gotta pay for the high school.
Okay.
We're gonna send him. You can free if you reclassify him.
Exactly.
Are you reclassifying your son?
I love free 99, my boy. So, of course, I will have to talk to my future wife, you know what I mean, or, you know, co-parent or whatever, and see her opinion about it, and also talk to my child. But if this person with the third eye, a scout or a high school person, obviously they see something that I don't see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, to give me opinion. But before the athletics, it's the school of good education.
Yes.
Also, so I'll definitely would. If somebody's telling me, and I see because I do play sports,
Yes.
I would definitely do it. How about you?
I would strongly consider it, and I probably will do it. If I feel like my kid has a strong shot of playing at the next level, high school at a high level, excuse me, and then going to college and playing at a high level for a full scholarship or most of it paid or a partial scholarship, I would do it.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, your kid's probably going to a good school, they're going to get a good education.
Exactly.
And the education you can always fall back on, you know what I mean? So
Definitely.
I would consider it. But I have another question for you.
Oh, go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Now, say your kid had a shot to go to a great college.
Okay, college.
Would you reclassify him twice? Meaning, would you hold him back in 8th grade and then hold him back his senior year or send him to a prep school? So he'll be 20 years old as a freshman. Would you double reclassify your kid?
If we're talking about league talk, I would do it.
Okay.
But double classifying, I think that's like you're pushing an agenda on your child. Like, listen, like you got to save our family and make it to the league or whatever.
That's a lot of pressure.
But that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Only time I will only reclassify my child in high school again if he doesn't have high SAT scores, a good GPA, grade point average to go to a D1 or Division II. So, all right, man, like, you know, obviously you're struggling academics, but you got to be a balanced athlete on and off the court.
Okay.
So I would send him to prep school on athlete with the first focus, but listen, he needs to get his grades up in SAT, go to a community college or a prep school. So I would say my main focus for high school is to reclassify him if he's struggling in school.
Okay.
Academic. How about you?
If he has a shot, he or she has a shot to go to a major D1 or a really good D1 or even just a really good educational school with the team and it's gonna be completely paid for. I would do it.
Okay.
But I also would let the kid, my child, have input in it.
Exactly.
And hopefully, especially when they're in high school, they would have all the input in the world.
Exactly.
When they're younger and they're growing up, like in 8th grade, I would have the input, but you know, your parent, you would try to. I would hope that I would know best for my child.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so I have another question for you. What if your kid didn't want to reclassify and it's you know in your heart it's the best option for your kid? Would you do it?
I definitely have to pray about it first. You know what I mean? You know, pray about it, but also
praise the Lord.
Yeah, praise the Lord, all of that. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna switch it up too. Like, you know, in the professional acting world, you see a lot of child stars rebel down the line, and you're forcing your child to do something that they really don't, but you see the potential. But if they're not ready for it, I don't want my child at 21, 22, God forbid he gets a torn ACL or this and that, or he just doesn't make it, and look at me, well, Dad, like, I really wanted to become a doctor. I really wanted to become a school teacher or a scientist. So, listen, if my child don't want to do it, man, that's gonna be a tough one, but. Ooh, that's tough, bro. I don't even know how to answer that. That's a good question,
and then just
bro.
imagine your son or daughter's best friends are there, and
exactly.
all acclimated, and then they're like, yo, my friends are going to high school, and I'm going to be in 8th grade again, like. Yeah,
man, that's something I definitely have to pray about, but I just don't want it to shoot me down in my foot down the line, you know, like a rebellion or the blame game. But I might have to make that decision for him, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that decision.
I mean,
how about you?
Yeah, I think I would have to make the decision for them. But I feel like if your kid is already invested in the sport, whether it's basketball, football, softball, whatever it is, and they really good, and they'll be on page with you.
Okay.
Because they understand that it's the business of it. You know what I mean? And they understand other kids that have done it before.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if they don't want to do it, most likely their heart really isn't into the sport. You know what I mean? So you have to take that into consideration as well.
They gotta love the sport, man.
They gotta love it.
They gotta love it just as much as the parent. You know, want them to be successful. They have to love it and want it. You just can't force your child to do it. So that's definitely a great question.
And to piggyback off of that, I think a lot of people want it for their kids.
Exactly.
You can't want it for your kid. If your kid don't want it, he or she don't want it.
And it's really those parents who fighting the refs and the coaches. And the kid is like, yo, man, Dad, I'm just out here having fun with my friends.
For real.
And you think I'm going to the league? Like,
exactly.
nah, man.
They like we just doing it because my boys on the team.
Yeah, like that's it. I want to hang out with my friends after school. I don't want to be locked up in the house. You know what I mean? So got to make sure that your child love it, but it definitely takes a village to make the child. Also, we just not focused on athletics, man. Education, man, because not everybody goes to the league, man. So
all right, so let's pivot like my man, what's his name, do? Like the pivot podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, let's move on to something else.
So go on that social media topic you want to talk about.
So something I've been seeing a lot with social media is social media affecting AAU basketball? So for everybody that doesn't know what AAU basketball is, it's like a travel sport where kids from all around the country get to compete against each other.
And they can go across the nation. They can go stay locally. You know, they play a lot of games.
And be able to get seen by Division I, Division I schools, Division II, even overseas. So like basketball camps like the Nike Elite Camp, Adidas, Chris Paul, 5-star basketball camp. But a lot though where everybody has a camera in their hand and everybody's trying to get likes and highlight reels to get noticed. Do you think that social media is affecting the game for the younger generation in a good way or a bad way?
I think honestly in a good way.
Okay.
I think social media gives these kids a lot of exposure. I think social media does make some kids overrated.
Okay.
But I can't knock a kid for getting maximum exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like when we were, I'm not just like an old head, but when we were coming up, like when a player wanted to get on, you used to have to send out a tape to school.
Exactly.
Send it across the nation. Now you don't have to do any of that.
Everything's on Instagram, Twitter.
Everything on Instagram, Twitter. These kids in middle school have their own social media. They copyright their name, they back all that, all of that. So I think social media is like helping these kids run their life like a business.
Okay, cool.
I understand it is really early, but at the same time, if you want to, like I said, you want to go to the next level, you got to do that, do things like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm gonna take the opposite. I think social media is affecting the younger game in a negative way.
Oh, excuse me. Chest grab.
Time out. We're gonna switch it up real quick. But I think it's affecting in a way because if you watch these AAU tournaments, it's all one-on-one basketball.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, everybody clearing out, trying to get dunks, jellying and layup and stuff. So it's really taking out the context of the logistics of the mental game of actually team strategy, team plays instead of just one-on-one and trying to get noticed at everybody. And I just think they're taking the true essence of teaching the game of basketball, the camaraderie in the community, and also team building skills with the players. Okay,
so but with social media, you're getting your kids max exposure. You're getting them. Some of these kids have 10,000, 100,000. Some of them have 1 million followers on Instagram.
Exactly.
Some of these people are able to reach out to teams and people are able to see them across the nation. I understand what you're saying about selfish play, but what about a kid that doesn't have selfish play but that has maximum exposure? What do you say about that?
Okay, cool. So so that's definitely a good point that where they could be able to see and be noticed. Though. But what I see from my perspective is all I see is dunking highlights, and crossovers and stuff like that. The good part, but what about the bad part? You know what I mean?
True.
What about the breakdown of a full court press and different things to show these kids real IQ? I don't think because you're just an athletic player and where's your IQ? Because to me the game is more mental.
But I feel like you're able to access these coaches, these scouts with the click of a button.
Okay.
For example, my friend from the gym, he was saying, he's like, yo, I need you to check out my son. I like your podcast and everything like that. See what you think of my son. He literally sent me his Instagram. I'm watching the highlights and all of this. I'm like, yo, the kid is tough. And you can see, got a left hand, right hand, jump shot, vision, all of that. So I'm just saying, like, I feel like it's great for exposure for the kid, but I also can see how it hurts the kids because it can go to their heads.
Exactly.
They have egos. They think they're bigger than what they are. Exactly. And then, you know, when you come at a certain level, even if you reclassify or these kids are just don't reclassify, they're good, you're going to get to a certain point where the competition is even. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you really get exposed when you're playing D1 and or even whatever major college or even want to go overseas and stuff, but you were just killing. We all saw your Ball is Life mixtape, but when you actually get some competition and it's really team play, you're not really able to get to the, get to that level.
So that's all the time we got for y'all. We would love to continue this conversation, but we can't. So we want you guys to follow us on all social media. Can't Fake the Tape. Just type it in, it'll pop up. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and YouTube. Let us know in the comments what you think. Would you reclassify your kid? Do you think social media is good for your athlete? Let us know.
All right, man. Be easy.